Hi, I'm Perry Atkinson, General Manager here at theDove. Hey, check out our other videos and check out our website at thedove.us. Well, welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and I wanted to take a few moments at the beginning of the program today to, again, just to express to you our sincere appreciation to the many of you who partner with theDove. I tell you, we cannot do what we do without you. And the last 3 days, we've had our annual Fall Share A Thon. And it's always an exciting time. And this one was very unique in so many ways. First of all, we were able to do it in our new facility. And boy, are we thrilled to be here. It has been a 30-year dream come true for us to have our own permanent home. And so our first Share-a-thon from there, we had a special celebration with the Cascade Christian High School band coming in and a cake and all of that. It was just a lot of fun. But none of this happens without your involvement. And I can't tell you enough how much all of us here at theDove appreciate your believing in the mission of theDove, your prayers for theDove, and of course your financial support of what we do. And for those watching on theDove TV right now, I'm in a little bit different position because behind me is the entire Dove television set that's still in construction as we speak. And as we were doing the Share-a-thon the last 3 days, part of that budget was to build a wall around this room, this studio, the television set. Yes, we have some walls there, and if you're watching on theDove TV, you'll see some walls in construction behind me. What those are the set walls, and they're designed so that they can be changed and moved. But an actual wall around the entire studio has to be built and closed in it so that we can do more production, but primarily that we can control the environment. Because right now when we're on the air, everybody in this big building has to be quiet. So the last 3 days, we've been asking you to prayerfully consider supporting theDove, and we do that twice a year. And this year, this last Share-a-thon spoke some volumes to me personally as the person who kind of leads the team here. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you. Every time the phone rang, every time we went to the internet and there was a little sheet of paper there that showed that somebody had gone online to support theDove, it's kind of a startling thing to experience when you realize that people are giving to your efforts here and what you're doing. And we do consider you part of the team. And you're welcome to come by anytime and take a look at what's going on here. But we are going to have an open house a little bit down the road after we get everything settled and get this wall built. But the many of you that did call and come by, and then also what makes all of this work is a lot of volunteers. And wow, we had some great people come in, give of their time to sit and answer the phones and help us. And Gladys came over and she helped with all the food. In fact, she just did it all. She put it all together. And fed us early in the morning and through the day, and it was just wonderful. We did come up a tad short. We're about $23,000 from our overall goal. I'm not going to panic over that. We know that in time God will make that up, and our overall goal was $98,500. And you say, how do you come up with those figures? I had a lot of people ask me that. Well, we look at what it takes to fund theDove for the next 60, 90 days. And included in that figure was the construction cost to build this wall. Now, folks, this is no normal wall. It's actually 2 walls, and it's a double thickness. We have to do that in order to soundproof the room. And what makes it so unusual, it goes up in the air almost 26 feet. That is a very high ceiling and a high wall, and we are thrilled to have that space. That's perfect and ideal for video production when you have a high ceiling like that so that you can run various lighting combinations and in order to make things work within the room itself. So we got to get this wall built, and we will get started on it right away so that not only we can do what God called us to do in content production, both radio and television, but to get the students in here. It'll be the perfect environment for students to come in and learn television and video production. So your support will make that happen. And I'll get on the phone today and we'll get the ball rolling on that. And that'll complete pretty much the remodel of us getting into our new facility. Somebody asked me the other day, said, well, didn't you plan on that when you took on the building? And the answer is, yes, we did. In fact, we had a complete remodel plan and budget put together based upon several conditions, of which none of those happened. We didn't get the grants that we applied for. Some things happened, and it just didn't work out. And so you have to stop and sit back and say, okay, God, what are you saying in all of this? And it's been the case from theDove from the very beginning. It's been a faith walk. Everything that we've done here has been done by faith. And I've learned the 30 years that we've been here with theDove, if you're going to do anything for the Lord that takes faith and you're going to push forward, you're going to get pushed back. And we had our challenges. Believe me, we had a ton of them as it related to technical challenges, air conditioning issues, just overall wiring of the building to make it all work. But you know, those are just things that happen, and you move through it. If you've ever moved, you know that that's what happens. But folks, you need to know that theDove is very unique in what it's doing with radio, television, the internet, smartphones, tablets. We really feel that what God's called us to do is to create more content to be distributed through those platforms to reach people with the gospel. Since we have been awarded the Low Power Television Station of the Year twice now with the NRB for 2012 and 2014, it's opened up doors where other low power television stations are saying, boy, send us some content. We want to have some of the programming that you have. So we're looking into that. We really feel that that's the future. There's no question about that. I mean, Patrick Doyle is an example when he's on. Several days later, we may have several thousand hits on YouTube, people who want to see what he had to say again. We take that as an indication. How can we take Patrick and putting him in another controlled video environment by which we can create some content and bicycle it literally on other platforms? So we're looking into that. And the list goes on of the various topics. But I feel what God is saying is that we are able to take specific needs of people and turn that into programming content and even short form programming content that people can use. So your partnership is vital, and we do not take it for granted. We pray for you. I can't tell you what it means to us every time that phone rang and continues to ring. Thank you so very, very much. And this I don't know if you can see around behind me here, it's pretty unusual what we got. I'm going to have Steve join me in just a moment, because he's kind of the guy that also has the vision of what's going to go on in this room once it's completed. And we were delighted to have Dr. Phil Long come in. He's the new principal now at Cascade Christian High School, and to sit down and see what the students possibly could be involved in learning what we do here. We've actually had contact from all 5 high schools throughout Southern Oregon wanting to know if an internship program is going to develop where they can send students. So what an opportunity to train the next generation media professional. And that's part of the vision. But I just want to say thank you so very, very much. Every one of you that called, every one of you that went online, those who went out of your way to come by and bring your support in, wow, it means so much to us. And if you didn't get a chance, we're still short of our budget, about $23,000. We're going to trust the Lord for that. So if you've still been praying about it and you want to be a part of it, you can just go to the theDove website. There's 2 buttons at the top of the page. You can't miss it there. You can click on either one of those, and you can support us there. And if you did get the letter and you got the response card and it's still sitting around, pray over that and send it in. And only do what the Lord's leading you to do. I'm going to take a quick break. I want Steve to come back, and we're going to show you a little bit more about what's going on with this room behind us and why this is so vitally important for the future. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and I'm joined by Steve Johnson. And again, we just want to say to all of you who participated in the annual Fall Share A Thon of theDove the last 3 days, thank you so much for your support. Steve, every time that phone rings, every time somebody brings in a little piece of paper that they responded on the internet, is a heartfelt reminder that it's a partnership that makes all this work.
Yeah, and you know, I don't want anyone to think that we take it for granted at all, because we realize that you are the ones who are helping to keep this thing going. Again, you throw out the number, but it's a high percentage. 86% of allowing us to stay on the air is because of you and your support. And that's why I'd say that even with the amount that we need left to make our goal, don't think that just because that clock is over for Thursday night that you can't support the Dove. You can go online, thedove.us. If you haven't done it before, a lot of people find it's a whole lot easier to do that than mailing it in, for example. So I'd say just give that a try. But I want you to know we take every single one of those calls very seriously, and that's why we like to know what it is you like to listen to and see on the Dove TV and radio.
Well, we're sitting in a little bit different position, those watching on the Dove TV. If you're listening on the radio, just kind of imagine just for a moment, but we're outside the television, what is going to be the TV studio.
I'm actually sitting right where I am is where the wall will go.
You're exactly right.
Through me.
Right through you. You're actually sitting on the line there.
This is that big wall that we're talking about.
Where the wall's going to go. Behind us, you'll see the television set, which is still in construction, has been for quite a while. You can see the steel and the steel frames, and we got one great big white wall over there, just been primed out, hasn't been painted out yet.
Yeah, it's a big white wall.
But this is this is a dream come true. When this wall is built, Steve, it's the ideal television studio.
You know, it'll allow us to do a lot of things. You'd think a wall isn't that important, but it really does help to secure this area here, because during the morning hours, hardly anybody is here except those of us early birds and you as well. So we don't have a whole lot of people walking around here, but just over a little ways is where our cubicles are, where we have our office space and our kitchen area, and it's all in one big room. Think of it that way. So it's very much a hot set, and this will help a lot. Because, you know, as we were talking about this, it's like a wall isn't... How much of a priority is that? We got to build a wall at home. Well, if that wall is going to serve a huge purpose, then it is a pretty big deal. So thanks for those of you, and really trusting us to relay to you that this is something that is needed, and then you respond that way. That's just terrific.
Well, what this is going to do, we really feel led of the Lord. We are compelled to get into more content production. Producing programs literally out of Southern Oregon that would be seen and heard literally around the world. Some of our affiliates that with the United Christian Broadcasters saying, hey, you guys, start producing and sending us some content. You'd be surprised. As much television channels that are out there, they're starving for content. Yeah. And they're asking us to do that. And we feel very compelled to do that, because why not do it from a biblical perspective? Why not take on all of these issues and narrow it down to what the Bible has to say about it? And that is the future of the Dove. That's why I think the internship is so important.
Yeah, and you know, when you look at the creativity, you've seen videos on YouTube and maybe Vimeo that kids have done. It's quite amazing how impactful they can be, as well as how well done they can be. You know, you think back to the days, this is going way back, but in the 1950s and 60s, only the big movie houses could really make those movies. And that's probably true up through the 90s, until the advent of the internet in about 1995, really. Even then it was expensive, but now with the quality of cameras, you've seen what can be done with all of that, and the ingenuity of kids, we have a whole new generation that we can tap into. And instead of complaining about society saying, you know, Hollywood is just making a lot of stuff that's terrible, how about us training those people so that when they're immersed in that, they can bring their values with them? That, in a summary, is really the purpose of what we want to do. And we know that there's creativity. It doesn't matter where you are. You don't have to be in New York or LA. You can be in Coos Bay, Klamath Falls, Wairika, Medford, wherever, you know.
Well, that's part of the vision, and so we're pretty excited to get it done and get on with that. And again, it's so vitally important that you kind of get the big picture of what we're doing here and the vision that's going on here. It's hard to believe that last month we had 51,000 people throughout the world go to the Dove YouTube sites and look at some of those videos that we produce with Patrick Doyle, a lot that we've produced, like coming up in a few moments with Dr. Kevin Lehman, with the special guests we have, Wallace Henley, Gene Getz, and the list goes on. We've had Polina does an incredible job getting us some of the newsmakers and shakers in the world, and we take those and we pack them into about 13 minutes, put them up on YouTube, and people go there and then they share them with their family and friends all over the place.
And one of the things we are looking at also is we do a lot of news and information that has an immediate impact. But you know, you've seen those specials before that you can watch a year later and it still has that impact. That's what we are considering wanting to get into, is more long-term types of programming that can relate to audiences in the UK, where we also have affiliates, and in New Zealand, and we're already getting a lot of their content too. We're hoping that that'll increase as well. But that's where we have this United Christian Broadcasters connection to really make this happen. Then you throw in the internship program that we've been talking about, and now we have a possibility for all sorts of things. You know what I think of is this. Notice this morning on Wretched TV, you had Todd Friel out there talking to people with kind of a microphone, just man on the street interviews. A lot of what we see being done by Ray Comfort.
Right.
So he'll take an issue of the day, go out there and say, well, what do you think about this? What does the Bible say? And I think we're shocked at what we find out some people think is in the Bible or isn't, or what their morality is. Well, that's very fast programming that can be turned around quickly, and yet it's very valuable for people. And so we're looking at what is it that we can do here at the Dove. So we're still working through this, but it certainly is a goal we have.
Well, media is certainly the mission field to not only reach America, but literally all over the world. Everybody's got a phone or a tablet or some kind of a computer or some kind of device, radio, television, whatever. And if we're going to reach people by the masses with the gospel, I believe it's through media. We're here not to replace the church. We're here to augment the church. We're here to support other ministries. And you've heard us talk about that with Hearts with the Mission and Youth for Christ and the pregnancy centers and Foundations for Recovery. We are very passionate about coming alongside those ministries and giving them a voice and giving them exposure to as to what they do. That's a partnership. That's a team effort. But at the end of the day, this facility, when we moved in here, this wasn't the end all. This was the beginning of a whole new era for the Dove. And this building will turn into a media production machine once we get the wall built and things get going here. We have our control room, I don't know if you can see through us, but our control room is literally back in a storeroom right now. And so once we build the wall, we'll be able to push these cubicles back a little bit and put the control room right next to the television studio. And those watching on the Dove TV, you'll see the kind of the computer rendition of that. And that'll kind of finish that off. We had a Hollywood producer down in Southern California who's retired up here, who had a complete Hollywood production facility. And he's been helping us with equipment and the lighting issues. We're learning all of this stuff.
In fact, some of the lights that are on now, he has donated.
He's donated to us.
Thank you.
He believes in the mission of what's going on here. So anyway, I just want to say thank you again. We are about $23,000 short of our goal, and if you didn't get a chance to respond over the last couple of days and you still feel like the Lord's tugging you to do that, and only do what God called you to do, you can go online at thedove.us, and there's two buttons at the top of the page. You can click on either one of those, and you can support the Dove there. That is totally secure, and it's your monthly support that really, really helps us, believe me. And or you can come on by, either way. But if you get the letter, if you got the letter in the mail, there's a little response card. Take a few moments, pray over that, and send it back. But please know that we consider you part of the team. You're part of the family. You're welcome to come by and take a look and see what's going on. You may want to give us a few weeks because we want to get it all done and then have the open house. But you're part of it, and you're helping us. And through your partnership, we're touching people literally all over the world. So again, thank you from all of us here at the Dove for whatever the Lord led you to do over the last couple of days, or what the Lord's going to lead you to do in the very near future. Thank you so very much. So stick around. Coming up next, give you an idea of what we're going to do. We're going to talk to our buddy Kevin Lehman about his new book, Have a Happy Family by Friday. That's today. We'll be right back.